We're here with Frankie Candles of Bitboy Crypto. I have a few questions. Thank you for sparing us some time, especially after dinner. It was great.
Of course.
So how you enjoying the cruise so far?
Dude, it's so much fun. It's like my favorite part of the job is doing stuff like this. Like getting to hang out with the community, meet people. It's like I'm always shocked at how many good human beings are out there, especially in crypto. It's like every crypto event we go to or meetups and meet the community. It's like being able to see who's behind the keyboard and like chatting and who's behind the actual community is awesome. And this has been sick, hanging out with you and hanging out with everybody that was here.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of people think that behind the screen people are going to be different when you meet them in person. Everybody I've met so far is exactly how you picture them to be. So encouraging, so uplifting, and it's been just a great experience altogether.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I first met Ben a few years ago. I was in the same position where you was like, what is this guy like behind camera? I wonder if he's the same. I wonder if he's like, this crazy celebrity. And I met Ben, and the first time I met him, he just sat down. He's like, Frankie, what's up, man? And I was like, oh, he's the same guy.
Yeah.
But I think they attract that. Ben and TJ attract like just genuine, down-to-earth people. So.
It's good engineering, especially in this space.
Yeah,
and it's what we need, especially to progress as a community.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a few questions for you. I appreciate your time.
Of course.
So what originally inspired you to start trading?
So the first thing that ever sparked my interest in trading was probably when I was like a kid. I was always fascinated by like stockbrokers. Like I always saw people sitting at a computer looking at charts or working on Wall Street. And part of the reason was probably just because the screens looked so crazy, it looked all high tech and cool, but also it was always connected to like making a lot of money. All the rich guys were from Wall Street, and that obviously, as a little kid, inspired me. Rich stockbroker driving a Lamborghini and all that. So I was always interested in it, and then probably like through like when I was a junior in high school, I remember I downloaded my first like stock market simulator. And I just played around with that. I had no idea what I was doing. But then just basically that kind of started like my self-education for like trading and TA. Was never like really that hardcore into it when I was that young. But then like as I got older, got out of high school, into college, just kind of was always interested in it, learning here, learning there. And then got into crypto. Started off with stocks, was still never really that heavily into it. Then 2016, I found crypto and I was like, hey, this is stocks, but 24/7. And that was when I like really started to like try to learn and teach myself and like hustle. And then went through the whole bear market thinking it'll come back up, and just kept going down. And then that's kind of when I started like really trading. And then I learned how to trade futures and shorting. And it was just kind of a slow, gradual process of just self-teaching.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. It sounds like that is the beginning of everybody's trading journey, stocks, and then nobody likes the hours.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like the hours, it sucks because it closes and then, the movement is obviously not
trading.
It's just, and then like, it doesn't move like crypto does. And like, you can get, it's much more volatile. So it just makes it more fun as a trader. It's more opportunity in my opinion. But, my dad also was a day trader. But he trades stocks. He still does. He day trades. Now, he invests in crypto, but he still day trades stocks. So I also had my dad. It's funny because I never really asked my dad about it because it wasn't his full-time job. He always did it on the side, but he was always looking at the charts too, and like he always did really well with it. So I just always was kind of surrounded by it. Was just always intrigued by it, but never thought that it was what I wanted to do full-time.
Or what you would do for a career.
Yeah, never thought. I always thought it was going to be an extra thing. Yeah. So never ever thought that. I knew I would always be trading in some capacity. Always thought it would be more of like a side thing, and then I always wanted to turn it full time. One thing I never thought would happen. I never thought I would be a YouTuber. That was never ever a thought in my head.
Yeah, it's like, and like you said, you're trying to on the same journey, same path we were. So it leads to my next question. How did you and Ben's relationship begin?
So my story is kind of wild. So I basically, in the beginning of 2021, I had found Ben's channel. I've been watching him since like probably 2020, like during the pandemic, I think was when I first started watching him. And then I was trading like more heavily at that point. And yeah, I was like watching all the content. I noticed that they had put out so much content. I was mind boggled. I was like, how are you doing this? Because my background was television. I used to work in like video production. I worked in network TV. So that was where like I'd be at work and I would have to be trading, like have to hide my laptop from my boss and be like, I need more on this than I'm gonna make here in the week. And like I'm gonna have to like hide it, and like now it's like my bosses come in and are like, hey, what's the price of Bitcoin? Are you in any trades?
Why are you not on your computer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I just saw, you know, I was doing a lot of crypto at the time and saw that you were putting out a lot of content, and I was just like, I just shot them a random cold email to their like info@bitboycrypto.com, and I just said, hey, my name's Frank, and I watched a behind the scenes video where TJ mentioned that hundreds of people apply for a job, but no one says what they can do. They just want to get in somehow. So I heard that and I wrote an email and I said, hey, my name's Frank. I trade crypto constantly. Like this is, you know, basically just gave the whole resume, and I said, here's what I can do for you. I'm an avid crypto trader. I'm invested in crypto. I've made money, whatever. But also I can help you guys produce your videos, shoot your videos, edit your videos. Like, and I just listed all the value that I could provide to them. Sent the email, and I think maybe 10 minutes later, my phone rang and I answered it, and he was like, Frank? I was like, yeah, it's TJ from Bitboy Crypto. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, it's TJ from Bitboy Crypto. We just got your resume, and like, we think you're gonna be a perfect match. And TJ told me that when I sent that email, him and Ben were literally having a conversation about needing help with the videos. And as they were talking, he saw the email come in and said, they get hundreds of emails a day. He goes, if you did not send that email at that exact second, we would have never seen it. And that's how I started. I went down for an interview 2 weeks after that phone call. I flew down for an interview and met Ben, met TJ, kind of like hung out at the office for 3 days to test it out, see if I fit. And yeah, then I started off. I traveled with Ben everywhere. He made his daily vlogs. I would just film everything he did while trading, like on my phone. Yes. Yeah, and I worked as hard as I could, you know, filming him, editing videos. I did daily vlogs for the office, just helped him out anywhere I could. And then when it came time that they wanted to make a trading channel, they were just like, no brainer, like it's gonna be you, man. And I was like, I never expected that. I thought my career path there would have been like, again, like, helping out with videos, and then eventually just being like, I'm just gonna trade. Like, I don't need, you know, a regular job. But yeah, they were just like, hey, would you do it? And in my head, I was like scared. I was like, I've never been on camera. Like, and then something in my head was just like, just say yes and figure it out later. And
fake it till you make it at that point.
Well, so it's funny. It's funny you say that, because the first time I ever went on Ben's stream, I was petrified. And it's funny because now I meet people at meetup, they're taking pictures with me, and they go, I saw your first stream, dude. You've come a long way. Because I was so nervous. And Ben told me, you know, I was like trying to look at the charts on his computer before they went live, and I was like, Ben, I haven't looked at the charts all day. Like, and he just goes, Frank, think it's gonna make it. And I was just like, all right. And I just was super nervous. That first show was probably horrible, but I just kept doing it, got more comfortable. I was always confident in the TA and the trades. I was just super nervous about being on camera. Public speaking. I hated public speaking, but that's what I love about Ben and TJ is they won't let you stay static. Like, they'll push you. Even now, they push me like out of my comfort zone, which isn't always fun, but it's necessary if you want to do better. And they always push me, and now it's like we get to do this, the coolest thing in the world. Like, you saw me on the first day of the cruise, you were like, oh my god, Frankie Candles, which is, I've only been doing this, you know, I've only had the channel for a year, which is still mind blowing to me that people know who I am.
I watched you as a vlogger. I remember an episode you were making that creative wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And that after seeing on that video, it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, maybe not even a year later,
you're
making your own videos and hosting shows.
And it's funny.
For everyone out there, shoot your shot. It could be your chance.
That's right, 100%. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, just shoot your shot, because I'll say this. I sent them that cold email. They hit me back, but that was probably the 150th cold email that I had sent trying to do whatever it was. Like, I had sent so many cold emails, and then eventually something hit. And but yeah, it's the coolest thing in the world. And like Ben, TJ, they're like the most selfless. Like, they care about themselves second, third, fourth. It's like everyone else first. And it's super cool. I just feel lucky to know them and be friends with them. This was
Have you been place like this? I mean,
absolutely.
Go on trips for work.
Yeah.
I've seen you still were making content.
Yeah, well, we had our videographer had unfortunately someone in his family passed away, and he couldn't make it on the boat. And they were just like, "Hey, Frank, do you want to pick the camera back up?" I was like, "Of course!" Like it's fun. It's fun for me. It's like I get to go hang out with my friends and make videos with my friends, and it's we don't really have great service on here anyway, so I'm not trading. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll make a video. Let's do it." And
Like how fun work can be.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And like one thing I would say to people is like I've been in like super dark places before, and like I thought I would never figure it out, and like I was just always like try and fail, and I felt hopeless before, and then but like again, like I just like I'll just send the email, maybe one day someone will answer, and like finally it happens, and then once I got that opportunity, it was just like head down, don't mess this up, work as hard as you possibly can, and don't give up. 100%, man. 100%.
Anything you do, as long as you're persistent, something will work out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you give up is when you'll never get the chance to.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's talk a little bit more about trading. What is one lesson you have learned over the years that you wish you could have told your younger self?
Ooh, my younger trading self? So the first thing I would say is when you win your first trade, you're not a genius and you're going to lose again. So yeah, when I first started, I struggled a lot with like getting greedy. So my trade would be going the right way. Like, oh my God, I'm winning. And then I'd be like, it's going to go higher, move my take profit. And then eventually it would turn around, I would get wrecked. And so I would teach myself risk management would be the first thing. I had no risk management. I was just entering random trades, and like I made every beginner mistake you possibly could when trading. So the first thing I would do is tell myself that it's more about preserving your capital than shooting for home runs. Risk management.
And one thing I learned in my trading career, it's more about the profit than it is the lose.
100%, yeah.
The money will come, but if as long as you're succeeding and learning in the education of trading, the money will come.
100%. And you make a really good point, because I think a lot of people get into trading thinking that they're going to get rich in a month or a year or 2 years, and it's different for everybody, but for most people it's a long road of either breaking even or way more likely losing money. And a lot of people get discouraged by that, but it's just part of the process. Like, you have to lose for a little bit. It's just all about not trading with more than you're willing to lose. So for me, when I wasn't doing as well, like I would have a way smaller trading account, but I didn't focus on getting rich in a day or making $1,000 in a day. I focused on the percentage, because I said, if I put $50 on this trade or $100 on this trade, and I could turn that, if you could double $5, you could double $1 million. So not that you would, I don't trade.
How much money is that? You double $5 every day for a year.
Right.
And the compound, exactly.
Compounding, and that exponentially gets faster and faster. So it's a slow and steady race. And unfortunately, we live in an age where social media tries to make you think you can get rich in 5 minutes, and it's simply not the case. And if you're out there and you want to try trading, you will learn that very quickly. Trading is one of the hardest things that anybody can do. It's so hard physically, emotionally, yeah, psychologically. It's one of the hardest things you can do. And I'm just stubborn. I'm a hard-headed Italian, so I'm one of those people, like, I can't figure it out. Like, it's not like, I'm going to figure it out eventually. I don't care if I don't have to get 6 new jobs to fund it. Like, I'm going to figure it out. And eventually you start to figure things out, and like one thing clicks, and that helps the next thing click. But like you said, always learn. Like, I've been trading for a long time now, and I still, like, the other day I was talking to Tony D, basically my partner, and he was saying, I'm researching new things, new indicators, new platforms, new strategies, new techniques, different types of candles. Like, I don't know everything. And when I talk to other people who trade, like, they always ask me questions, and like sometimes they tell me something I don't know. And I'm like, dude, I'm not like trying to act like I'm king of the castle. Like, if you have something to teach me, I want to learn it, because I want to learn as much as I can, because I know it's going to help me trade.
There's so many people with so many different strategies
100%.
that work for them. And that's how a market works. If everyone has the same strategy, there'll be no volatility. There'll be no breakout candle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone should be fighting each other for the same amount of money.
Absolutely.
An up and down market. And so my next question, I think we already answered it, but what do you think is the key to that led to your success? Key factor?
Probably the biggest thing that I think helped me I started winning when I started using risk management. I used to just put my money in a trade, I lost, like I liquidated.
Yeah.
So once you start having an actual, risk management strategy in place and stick to your strategy, like you have a strategy that loses 4 times in a row, and you're using that strategy for a week, like you gotta test that strategy for like a long time, because even a good strategy is gonna have a losing week, is gonna have maybe even a red month. So, and that's the whole thing with being like patient. Everyone's rich overnight, and some people will start trading and they'll win for a week, they'll win for a month, they'll hit one big trade, they'll hit a big month, and they think they're a genius, and then the next month they're red, and they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and then that's very discouraging, especially when you build yourself up like that and then get stepped on. And it's just testing things out for a long period of time.
I think COVID brought a lot of it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The money's never gonna stop.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna make money, and then all of a sudden, it just comes crashing down. Nothing goes up for it.
Absolutely.
So, I guess that's a good start to the last question. Is what would you say is your number one put and pick for this next quarter?
Ooh, I would say I'm bullish on Cosmos, and I'm bullish on the Cosmos ecosystem, because at this point in the and I do think there's going to be some kind of narrative, right? It's last cycle it was NFTs, DeFi. There's going to be some kind of narrative here. I think a lot of people think it's AI, which makes me think that's probably not going to be AI.
Thought about that too.
And it's like, the herd's usually wrong. But I have some, Fetch.ai is one that I like. But for me, I'm bullish on the Cosmos. I'm bullish on Cosmos because there's so many blockchains now, and we're getting to a point where like it's going to be necessary for all of these chains to connect and talk to each other. And so I did well with Cosmos in the previous bull run. So I would say, I was like OP, Fetch.ai. And Cosmos, I would say. Cosmos is kind of an older coin, so if you're one of those 100xers, like you got to go a little newer. I think OP is going to be big. I think OP is going to be one of those coins that you're going to look back and be like, wow, that thing was $1 at one point. That's crazy. Like Solana before it ripped. I think OP. I would say OP. Let's go with OP.
Well, thank you very much, Frankie.
Of course, man. Of course.
It's our premium Discord. But yeah, I go live every weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I do 2 hours of full TA, and I try to make it really engaging. The whole thing is that I constantly answer questions in chat. I talk to the chat, and I basically try to make it like a 2-hour, open class to teach people how to trade, all the way from the beginning, support and resistance, all the way to like advanced trading strategies. Also, a ton of free content on the channel. So.